Good evening, you handsome lot. Well, we are back at it today, feeling a little bit better. We've had a good night's sleep, some medicine, and we've got a 2010 Hyundai i20 in for a little bit of a clutcheroonie. The chap who owns this car, he's 96 years of age and he's still getting about and being mobile. So yeah, we're going to get involved and we're going to get this clutch changed for him, I think. Let's get involved. Right, well, I think the first thing that we need to do is get involved and get the battery removed, the airbox and the battery tray. Everything's just 10 mils. I think we've got to just remove the ECU, which is onto the battery box as well. Right, well, I've moved the battery tray and the ECU out of the way. Now, before we go getting involved in anything else, we're going to take the vehicle up in the air. We're going to connect our Pickler engine support onto the engine. And then we can drop the vehicle back down and undo the gearbox mount. Right, well, I've gone ahead, I've removed the gear cables, I've unbolted the bracket off the gearbox. There's three 12s on it, rather than undo these stupid flipping clips. They can be a bit of a nightmare. Just undo the bolts. As you can see, I've now got the engine mount nice and loose, and that engine is supported perfectly. We can undo, normally, I go through the inner wheel arch to get the top bellows and bolts, but on this, they're probably going to be easier to undo them from the top, just around here, 3/14. Everything at the top is now finished. We're going to work our way around. We've got the vehicle half raised, as you can see. We're going to remove the dry shaft nut, and hopefully that dry shaft will come out, because sometimes it can seize. Repeat the process both sides, and then we can take the vehicle fully up, and then everything is from underneath. Well, the vehicle is now up in the air, as you can see. Ball joints are out. I'm just going to get a 17mm, which I have slackened off already on the drain bung on the gearbox, and we're going to just catch the fluid into our clean little receptacle. Is everybody ready for Christmas? I haven't done any shopping yet whatsoever. I think it's going to be a quick dart to Boots and B&M Christmas Eve, I think that's the most manliest thing to do, isn't it? Wasping it. Yeah, we're going to get this gearbox all out now, and then we can make a start on removing the box. And for anybody saying, oh, I hope you're not going to reuse that gearbox oil, well, yes, I am going to reuse it, because it is golden in colour and there's not any pieces of metal in it. It's going to be absolutely perfect. If this clutch hadn't been started slipping, would that gearbox oil be changed? Absolutely not. So we're going to put that gearbox oil back in. Now, you lot know by now that I like innovative ways to make my job a little bit easier. Now, I've got these little hooks. They come on a ratchet and they're designed just so you can hook onto things and pull them out of the way. Almost like a second person. I'm going to show you how easy it is. And there's nothing worse than when you're removing dry shafts and the hubs are flopping about and one thing and another. Hook onto the carrier. Let's go to the ramp. Make sure it's all nice and tight. One-handed. As simple as that, eh? Easy. Right, well, if providing that we've done absolutely everything right, undone everything as we should have done, we should be able to get this gearbox out. I'm just going to drop the engine down. You watch now. I've left something plugged in. There'll be something stopping us from getting it out. Oh, I hope so. Always something. I guess that's it, we're out. Alright, so let's drop it down. And that is one gearbox successfully removed. Now with that gearbox, yeah, put it by the edge, drill 2 holes in the bottom of it. Now with that gearbox out of the way, we can go ahead now and undo the 6 12 mils holding the clutch plates on. Now these clutches on these, they are relatively easy to change. Oh, that's better. Get a little pry bar now. It should. Come off. A little bit. Like that. Right, well with that clutch now removed, it doesn't look too bad to be honest with you. A little bit of life left on the, nowhere near the rivets, but it is worn, don't get me wrong. Pressure plates in a good condition, and also the flywheel is as well. There's no blue spots and no... It's good, that's good. Right, now let's go ahead and get this new clutch sorted. Now we are using, unfortunately Schaeffler don't do a clutch for these, so we're going to be using an XCD clutch. Get the pressure plate, a little bit of a cleaner-oonie with some brake and clutch cleaner. Got all them oils off it. We can get the new clutch plate now. Now on them it does say transmission side or gearbox side. We're going to get our clutch tool. Now anybody that I do get asked quite a lot, oh, what clutch alignment tool do you use, Baz? Well, these are off Amazon and eBay, and they're only cheap and they're universal, and they've lasted me years. Slightly through the centre of the clutch. We can get it adjusted up. You can see it just grabs in the centre there. Get it nice and tight. We can get that clutch plate aligned up to the pressure plate and make sure that it's all equal all the way around, because if it's not, when you go to put that gearbox back on that engine, it won't slide in. But that now is perfect. Should we get this on and get it torqued up? Right, well that clutch plate and pressure plate is now all torqued up to spec, Rooney, and when you're torquing them up and tightening them up, always go opposite each other, so it pulls down equally. Because the last thing you want to do is pull it down like this or like this, and everything twists and bends, because you will get a crap clutch pedal and also you'll get a judder. So make sure that you pull it down equally. Right, let's move around to the gearbox. Now we do need to replace that clutch. Oh, it's not a clutch fork, is it? It's bloody thrust bearing. One of them days. It's been a long week. As you can see, that one is off with a little bit of magic. And I'm going to get now just a tiny little bit of, I don't know where it's gone. Where's it gone? Let's go over here. Let's go and get some little 3M Scotch pad. You don't want nothing too abrasive. And what we need to do is just clean that guide tube up to make sure it's nice and clean. And it is always good practice to take that clutch fork off and give it a little bit of a cleaner-oonie. And what we're going to be doing is putting a tiny little bit of red rubber grease just on that pivot point there, just so everything's moving nice and freely. Right, now everything is nice and clean and looking brand new. We're going to get the, where's it gone? The brand new thrust bearing. I'm going to slide the arm back through. Make sure it goes through the rubber boot and it doesn't rip anything. Get the new thrust bearing, slide it into place. And we're just going to give that arm now a little click into place. And that is moving nice and freely. Now they do give you a little sachet of grease. You can just plonk it on the splines. Don't want to go too mad with it. And that gearbox is ready to go put back in. Right, well, I'm not going to blabber on any longer. I'm going to get this into a little bit of a time lapse and get this vehicle put back together. And there we have it, with a little bit of magic. That car is all back together. You know what? The more I'm looking at this car, it's looking a little bit more familiar, like a Corsa. You see the headlights? No Vauxhall Corsa headlights. Even the rear lights look like Corsa. Or is it just me? Right, let's get in the car and give it a big start, Rooney. First of all, put your foot on the clutch, make sure you've got no restrictions there and the pedal feels nice and good. We can get on the key and hopefully it should start. Well, it started. That's a good thing. Let's close the door. Well, we got gear. We got gear. Got forward. We've got rough for race mode. We've got rough. Clutch feels better than what it did when it come in anyway. I'm happy with that. Right, well, I think all I've got to do now on this car is do a little bit of an oil filter change, bit of an air filter, nothing too major. Check all the tyres and one thing and another, and then we can take it down the road for a little bit of a test drive. Now, I'll leave the car ticking over, obviously get the oil nice and warm so it comes out a little bit easier. Now, I am back in work on Monday, and also half day Tuesday. But I am off tomorrow, so I'm going to have a little bit of a chill day, I think, have a bit of a rest day. But yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, please hit that like and subscribe. We will definitely see you on the next one. So let's get it sent.